Welcome back to the W1 Sim Series.
What is going to be a cutthroat championship clash.
20 cars line up under the light. 4 and 5 red lights.
We welcome you to W1. Wheel to wheel, heading through lane car. They're going to go side by side, coming in towards Baggins and Beckett. Who's bravest? Fantastic move from Cheryl Bucknell. But it's not over yet. The house comes back at her. Big crash though, and she leads, she crashes, she's round.
What a hard-fought victory that was. That is just spectacular.
But your drivers champion W1 Sim Series. What a season they have had.
Cars lined up on the grid here in Suzuka. We've got 5 red lights. And the lights go out, and we go racing down towards turn number 1. It's going to be a drag race between Olivia Collins and Lee Woodward. It's going to be the McLaren that has the inside line, the house of Olivia Collins swooping around the outside and holding form in towards that first corner. Nessa as well, trying to battle out with Esme Chambers. A couple off in the background. I think that's going to be Lily, who hasn't had the best of race starts, along with Leah Placer. Both Mercedes falling down the order right from the very get-go. Alexis Gaming up to what will be 11th place on circuit as she battles with Lainey Milligan, as well as Zara Shahsavari and Sarah Hardy as well. So they make their way up to the top of the S's, down towards the first and second Degner. We've got more battles going on. Alexis now dispatches Nicole Machuca. So early positions being made here, all the way from P20 up to P10 already. The Williams goes wide. That's going to be Maj, I believe, who will drop down the order 3 wide in towards the entry, towards the hairpin. That was chaos. Off goes the Williams. That's Maj going down to 15th. Make that 16th.
All 3 wide through turn 10 before hairpin corner here. Alexis Mason from 20th to 8th position as we see the Williams driver losing a couple more positions down to 16th. Alicia as well as another driver we saw going off in the second Degner. The 2 Aston Martins now getting close. Angel and Alexis now wheel to wheel down towards 130R. But Olivia leads from lead, and Emma, then Esme, then Vanessa, Nutrix as well. The top 6 have absolutely broken away as we head through 130R. Down in towards the Casio Triangle. The Aston Martins looking to do battle, but as we go under braking, Alexis is going to keep that position, and what a start by the Aston Martin, 20th to 7th at the end of lap 1 as we head down in towards first curve, and the Sauber will be gaining in the slipstream. Yellow flags are behind, and that seems to be Cutie Bunny and the Williams have spun around in the Williams, dropping down into P18. Not optimal for them as the Ferrari of Miss Judith gets close as well, and Ace of Hearts of Esme gets through as well into turn 1, through turn 2, 3 and 4. The S section we go. Action aplenty here in the beginning of lap 3, TK.
Absolutely right. And we now watch here with Alexis Mason looking to the inside of Nessa. Couldn't necessarily get it in towards the hairpin, but we know how quick Alexis has been off race start. Of course, started all the way down in 20th place, finds herself in 6th at the moment. And just a reminder on your screens there, so they have had truly outstanding pace from the offset in this race so far. They've got both Nessa and Esme Chambers just in front. More yellow flags in the final sector. I think that's Alicia Hofflack just having a bit of a whoopsie through the second Degner curve. And of course, Leah plays still 7 seconds off the back of the rest of the trainers as well. So those 2 drivers side by side. Machuca has had a spin through Spoon Corner, off in towards the grass. They will run to try and avoid most of this, or these pack of cars that goes flying past them, and down to 18th. But fortunately for them, still well and truly within this pack, and will gain from the lone DRS zone that is available on this circuit.
As we go on the inside is the Racing Bulls. Wheel to wheels to kick Sauber on the exit of first curve and apply the power. The Sauber now ahead of the V-Cub. Alexis Mason waiting to pounce if there's a mistake from either of the 2 drivers. See the Williams driver getting past the wounded Sauber once more as we go through first curve. And then once again, we see Lily getting past Lauren as Lauren beaches it on the curb, locking the front right, going off the circuit. And back to your race leaders, though. Lee Woodward has been getting oh so close to the rear of Olivia Collins as we head towards hairpin. And Lee will be gaining all the time. Yeah, once again, Lee Woodward will be gaining all the while in that slipstream. Battery to their availability as well as we head in towards Casio Triangle. Lee Woodward's going to look around the outside. Side by side they run, but onto the grass. Lee was a bit of a correction. That's going to pull her out of shape through the exit of the Casio Triangle. This could allow Emma Clay as we head down the main straight, down towards first curve. Emma Clay will be gaining in the slipstream all the while. The slipstream to her aid as well. But as they get towards turn number 1, is Emma Clay close enough to think of a move on the inside? No, they're not. But then Lee Woodward runs out wide, and on the inside, Emma Clay will try it. They'll run towards the S section, and Emma Clay gets through. The Scarlet Ferrari up into second place. And once again, Emma Clay on the last lap gained one position in turn one. What about on this lap, though? Emma Clay, the Season 1 Japanese Grand Prix race winner, to the outside line, unsure where to go. Roaring around the outside, wheel to wheel, they run through turn 1 and 2. But Olivia Collins able to go brave on the brakes. But as we head towards the S section, Emma Clay will have to stay tucked up behind.
Try and get it back. We get the camera shots down low through 130R. The Aston Martin trying to place itself, looks to the outside of the Casio Triangle. This time does not go for the move though, but every time they're patient, they play that early game. It's going to invite Nessa to potentially try and go for a lunge down the inside, but the exit is better this time for Alexis Mason. Run without a care in the world and will take that position rather easily. Rather well, and it's not just her that's run the soft tyres right from the very start. Of course, Cutie Bunny Sarah Hardy has also done the same. I think it's a mistake from Olivia Collins there. Has dropped down not one but two positions. So inheriting the lead here is Emma Clay. Sharks on, that's Lee Woodward, has made their way through to second place. And I wonder if this is a question of the tyres not necessarily being in their finest form. We can have a quick look on board.
Yeah, it must have been a mistake at hairpin. See Lee Woodward going wheel to wheel. Where's the Ferrari? The outside of the Casio Triangle wheel to wheel, and the Ferrari loses out. The McLaren gains, but now we head down towards turn 1. I believe Lee's actually going to have the DRS, which she does as we head down towards the opening corner. Emma Clay's now got to look behind us. The pole sitter, we're getting close to the rear as we head in towards first curve. Olivia Collins not close enough. Emma Clay goes slightly defensive. Pit lane, Emma Clay, I'm really impressed with as well, by the way. Keeping pace with the hard compound tyre runner. Surely if you're Emma, just go as long as possible if you're staying with Lee Woodward. As we see Olivia Collins maybe dive into pit road, which she does. The pole sitter peels away, and she's the first one of the top 4 to go for a new set of tyres here. Also, we expect Lee Woodward to pit the latest out of the top 4 because she's on the hard compounded tyres here. As Esme Chambers peels into pit road for, I can only presume, a set of the hard compound tyres. I think that's actually a puncture, TK, on the front left.
See if we can get a quick look. Doesn't quite look like it, unless it was more of a visual puncture than anything else. But a good stop there from the Visa Cash Out Racing Balls team. And finally, Miss Nutrix does peel into pit road to get off the soft tyres. Admittedly, 3 laps later than the counterpart of Sarah Hardy that also ran soft tyres from the very get-go. But surely now, Miss Nutrix in a position to go medium tyres until the end, and in fact I believe she has taken medium tyres here, so will have the faster compound, but will have to go to a level of certainly management in the later stages of this race.
Side that hairpin corner, the Hash driving the pulse, like you've mentioned, moving up into the top 5 in this Grand Prix, hoping to be the net race leader. Emma Clay still within DRS of Lee Woodward here as we head round the final corner, and finally, TK, getting off that medium compounded tyre. The question is, though, what tyre is she going to opt for? Because she's gone this long, will she go for the hard? Maybe this was a strategy to go as long as possible on the mediums competitively, so they can use the hard tyres just to command your full pushing pace, to be able just to use maximum pace out of everything. Yes, it is a set of the hard compound tyres. It would have been a stretch to go on the soft tyres. We saw it from Nutrix go a long while on the soft compound tyre, but I think in terms of being competitive in this Grand Prix, we go on the pit exit here. We see Olivia Collins and we go wheel to wheel with Emma Clay and Olivia Collins. Emma Clay dropped behind the Haas, and Olivia Collins, with that undercut, is only half a second ahead of Emma Clay, TK, to go on that medium compound tyre in terms of being competitive. But as we say that, Alexis Mason does now peel into pit lane. You can see the tyre life, on your right hand side of your screen. 8 to 10 laps on the softs, 11 to 13 on the mediums. Emma Clay shattered that way. I think she went 14 on the medium compound tyres, then 14 to 16 laps on the hard compound tyres. Maybe expect Lee Woodward to end in the pit lane end of this lap as the other Aston Martin of Angel Kirby as well into pit lane, but maybe as well Lee Woodward, maybe to go as long as possible. Maybe we could see it maybe lap 18 really, to get as much competitiveness out of that medium compound tyre as possible when we approach the latter stage of the Grand Prix, to ensure she can fight with the likes of Olivia Collins and Emma Clay as hard as possible.
Oh, they're doing pretty much as we were expecting, so almost certainly maybe expecting Lee Woodward into the pits at the end of this lap. If not, they might feel they've got one more in them. Only time will tell, of course, in towards the Casio Triangle. They've got about a 20-second deficit back to Olivia Collins, but no, round that final corner and into pit road for Sharkstorm. We've got yellow flags flying. I think that might have been the car that left. It was a disconnect from Lainey Milligan down in P12, and no, their car is still going, so I'm not quite sure with the yellow flag was for there. I think, yeah, it was the Alpine. Maybe Alicia Hofflack down in 20th place. But the Papaya car coming down the ramp in towards their allocated grid slot. Medium tyres going on and a good stop from the team based in Woking.
Yeah, without a doubt, medium compound tyres, they will easily get fired up. And not what we can see Alexis Mason in the background as well.
That is the battle for the lead. Miss Nutrix as well, trying to chase down Angel Kirby for what will be 8th place on circuit. Nobody in the top 11 as it stands has a penalty to their name. Will it remain like that, Rio?
It might do, it might not, but they're heading towards turn number 1. Emma Clay to the inside, wheel to wheel, between the top 2, Lee Woodward as well, looking on the inside, wheel to wheel, they run, around the outside, the pole system will try to hold this, on the exit of turn 2, a little bit of contact there, as Olivia Collins had a little bit of a moment on the exit of turn number 2, and Lee Woodward flies past, along with Emma Clay. Olivia Collins, that is the worst possible opening 2 corners of lap for her. She's gone from the lead, down into P3, with Alexis Mason surely soon to charge through.
Questionable to see if they're able to try and catch up, I reckon, within lap 20 or so.
Yeah, without doubt, as we head through 130R, and Lee Woodward's on the inside, and it's wheel to wheel in towards the Casio Triangle, and Lee Woodward to the lead of the Japanese Grand Prix once more, and once again will have the DRS, timing it to perfection. The DRS detection point is on the exit of 130R, so we're heading towards turn number 1. There's going to be absolutely no threat for the reigning champion. Emma Clay's now going to have to hope she can stick with the McLaren, who is now leading the Grand Prix.
Championship will be affected from it. Look here though, Rio, as we have got Alexis Mason chasing down Olivia Collins with DRS down towards the first corner. Collins tries to, I'm assuming, go defend. A little bit of contact between the two, wheel banging in full effect, but Alexis Mason says, well, hello and goodbye as they pass through for P3 on track. Not to be giving up hope of a race win here this afternoon. Of course, Lee Woodward, both a multi-winner within the W1 Sim Series. Emma Clay, of course, winning Japan last time out. Alexis Mason winning in Spa. So all 3 of that top 3 have won a race here in the W1 Sim Series, whether that be a social race and or a league race proper. They all count the same here in terms of our eyes. They certainly are. Keep an eye on Lily Browning here and towards the Casio Triangle, and I wonder if they're going to try and send a move here. They've got to be patient, of course. They'll use the one bout of DRS that comes accustomed here in Suzuka down towards the first corner, and they can be tactical with it, trying to get down towards the first corner and see what they do. And there we go. Moves towards the inside. It's Carlotta Marchi that does not put up a fight in the end. I think that's a very sensible decision. They know this is not necessarily the battle they want consuming them whole, as they have got Nicole Machuca just slightly up the road, 1.7 seconds to the advantage of the Haas car at the moment. But of course, the more these two battle, the only further this would extend.
But is it too little too late for the Scarlet Ferrari driver?
Well, that's going to be the question, shall we say. I think, as you rightly said, Emma Clay slower. Actually faster by 0.3 of the course of last lap. We've got a Mercedes round. I think that's Leah Plays. It is. That's a heavy hit into the hairpin wall. But I think the lead driver's too late into the day to call a safety car here. The ghosting being enabled will help them out. But if that was one lap earlier here, it almost certainly would be a safety car. So we have absolutely no preference where you want to watch these lovely shows. But up at the front here, as we head on towards the final lap here, Rio, I think this is Shark Storms to lose.
Shadow that we head down the main straight, see the Red Bull peeling out of the way. It's a final tour around the Suzuka circuit for the Season 1 and reigning World Drivers' Champion. She started on the front row alongside Olivia Collins, who is not even going to finish on the podium here after boxing first out of the top 4. Olivia Collins, that strategy has not paid off for her today. Alexis Mason, from last up into P3. Emma Clay starting third. Currently in P2, Lee Woodward approaches the end of the opening sector, and it's going to be a victory lap through the first Degner, through the second Degner, before we make our way towards Hairpin Corner. Cutie Bunny picks up a 3-second time penalty for track limits. We head through Hairpin for the final time in this Grand Prix. It was Olivia who had the pole position. She started from it with a monumental lap, a 1:26.5, which was a 2.5 tenths clear of this driver we're watching now. This driver who is the reigning world champion of Lee Woodward through Spoon Curve for the final time. She's the driver who raises the bar, who's raising the stats, who's taking things to stratospheric levels here in W1. And we've only got a couple of corners to go. 130 yards up next for the reigning champion. She hasn't won a social race so far, but now as we head towards the triangle. She wanted to win Japan. It's going to be another one added to the collection book through the Casio triangle and towards the line. It is Lee Woodward in Suzuka winning the Japanese Grand Prix ahead of the Ferrari of Emma Clay. Comes home in second place, and bravo Alexis Mason, P20 to P3. Our pole sitter will come home in P4, not the race she wanted, but nonetheless she can still be proud of that qualifying lap and the race she's done. Vanessa as well for the Kicksaba crew, currently sat in no man's land, will come around the final corner in P5, 4.7 seconds, make that 5.1 seconds ahead of Esme Chambers in P6. What a Grand Prix that has been, TK.
Absolutely stunning from start to finish. Jess Ball finished 7th as they come across the line and through the final corner. Miss Nutrix will hold on to 9th place with Angel Kirby coming home in 8th. Penalties will apply to both Lily and Madge as well in 11th and 10th respectively. They'll be making their way towards the start-finish line within the next few moments as they head in towards the Casio triangle for the very final time. Nicole Machuca could actually seal away 11th place here at the moment as they come through the final corner for themselves. The Haas car just 1.5 seconds off the back of the Ivy Lily. That's Lily Browning to take 11th place on circuit. This has been a hard-fought battle, left and right, over the course of this Grand Prix so far. And I think it will certainly go the way of Nicole Machuca getting 11th place. We'll still be getting points, of course, if this was Season 2 proper. But up at the front, as you so rightly said, Lee Woodward, of course, Season 1 champion for a reason, proving today that they are back for Season 2.
Thank you all for watching this particular video. I'm hoping to make more like this in terms of the commentary stuff. Also, a shout out to TK because he allowed me to use his voice in this. So yeah, hopefully more to come in terms of these commentary videos. But for the next one, ciao, adios. I'll see you guys soon.